Yo, what's good, everybody? This your boy JTL, opposite from the norm. Before I get started, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit them thumbs up. All right, so y'all see the title. All right, Black votes withholding won't help. Group economics and political gain will. All right. So let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? Let's break it down. Let me say this first. The reason why I'm doing this is like I speak in many videos. I keep hearing people talking about withholding votes and making the Democrats and Republicans work harder for our votes. But the problem is we don't have these two things that's in this title: group economics and political gain or political transparency. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the two main things that make politicians pay attention to their people. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about group economics. We're gonna break it down simple, and I'm gonna give y'all the definition, and I'm gonna give you a couple examples. All right. So the meaning of group economics is essentially a group of people who have a common economic interest. This common economic interest then drives these people to actively pursue that interest in order to create a secure economy for all participants in that group economics. All right, that's the definition. So let's go down and let me give y'all some examples. All right, individually, 10 new chefs put up $1,000 each. Okay, that's 10 grand. Now they have enough to start a corporation and buy a food truck so they can build clients while saving up to buy a storefront. Okay. 30 ways you can practice group economics: produce a product, produce a service, outsource tasks to a member of the community, open an online store, open a physical store, host community events, use black business directories, create community gardens. Like, these are different things that can be done in the community that we should be working on, but we don't do it enough. Um, I had a friend of mine who was telling me when they went to Houston, like, it was a bunch of black businesses, and you know what I'm saying, I noticed that going to Atlanta a few times in my life. It's a black businesses everywhere, a lot of black professionals. So Atlanta and Houston are two good places that practice group economics. You know what I'm saying? And it's putting your money together, also your resources. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, like they said with the 10 chef thing you see here, 10 people who had the same field came together with the monies they had and planned what they was gonna do, what they was gonna start out. First, they put the money together. Yeah, I mean, well, first they put the ideas together. Like, listen, let's do a food truck. Let's get a LLC or corporation. Then, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna go ahead and try to save up and move towards getting a storefront or a restaurant. So then they like, all right, well, we need to start to get there. You know what I'm saying? This is what we need. Our first start: food truck and getting our corporation license. Then stacking our money by getting clientele, because once you get clientele and the clientele is booming, then that itself, the money start paying for itself. You know what I'm saying? The business start generating money for itself. That way you ain't got to keep digging in your pockets. Now the money is paying for you guys to buy that food for the food truck and the gas and keep up on the maintenance. And then now the money is taking care of those overheads to get you to another place where you try to get you a location, right? Okay, so that's a simple way of looking at it. Then you got resources. So say if those 10 chefs, right, one of those chefs had um, a family owned couple of real estate properties, right? Hey, well, I know my pops or my family is selling this place XYZ in this location. We can probably get that. You know what I'm saying? And they'll probably look out for us on a good price. Then you might have somebody who already got a food truck. You might already have, you know what I mean, different things that you can pull your resources together, and it don't have to necessarily be just fully determined by money. These are the things that black people need to practice more when it comes to group economics. Like, we keep having an issue. Like, me and my partner talk about Master P a lot because we and Dame Dash, people like that, Nipsey Hussle guys, so because we respect those brothers grind and hustle. So Master P came out with his own noodles. Like back in the day growing up, we ate ramen noodles. They were cheap, affordable. If mom didn't have if your family didn't have money like that, you know what I'm saying, or you stayed in a single parent home, they didn't have money like to get a bunch of groceries. Those noodles went a long way. You know what I'm saying? You can get now it's like 32 cents a pack of noodles, but back then it was like 5, 10. So you know what I'm saying? So or I'm sure Mass B Day is probably 2 or 3 cents. So you have those situations where them noodles go a long way. But instead of us trying the noodles and see if they good, what we did, we dissing them. Nobody want them nasty noodles. Have you even had the noodles? You trying them, but have you even had them? They might be just as good as them dollar noodles you get from the Dollar Tree or Dollar General. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't tried them yet. We just diss him on it. The bag of chips that he invested in doing the chips thing. They had some pretty good chips. They got some good flavors. I like the Boosie ones, the hot Louisiana Heat. Those are good. I like the Migos chips. The Cardi B chips was okay. You know what I'm saying? So you had some good ones. Lil Romeo chips was good. Master P's, you know what I'm saying? So fortunately, people do like that because it came at a time when what I'm saying rap was getting very very much commercialized with branding. You have people like Steve Stout. I know he a jerk, but he's a brilliant. God bless him to be made him a brilliant businessman. I didn't know Pusha T and No Malice, the Clips, did the McDonald's jingle. I'm loving it. I didn't know that. And Pusha T was talking about how he did the Arby's um, slogan, "We have the meats" with Ving Rhames. I didn't know that. Unfortunately, he said he didn't make the best business decision by not getting back end ownership on McDonald's, which that's been 17 years. He would have probably made like $100 million out there because they made 10, 15, 20 commercials a year, and that's been 17 years now. But he got 40% stake in ownership in publishing royalties for the Arby's slogan, which they making a lot of commercials too. They got 5 or so commercials a year too, and that's been like 5, 6 years now. But I digress on that. But that's something that we need to practice is group economics. So when Master P doing this thing, we should support that. You know what I'm saying? Like at least try it out first before you just say you don't like it. That way you can actually give him feedback like, yo, P, the noodles, I think you should make a different flavor or try to make the flavor a little bit better. Give him some actual critiquing to help him make it better instead of dissing because he's not hot right now. Like if Roddy Ricch came out something like that right now, or the Baby, y'all jump all on it just because they hot in music right now. But P been hot business wise for the last almost 3 decades. So we need to support our people even more. The way you can start with group economics is within your own community, your own neighborhood. No offense, I ain't talking about going to the corner store with the Arabs or going to the Chinese takeout restaurant. I'm talking about if there's a black-owned store there, support them a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the prices can be a little bit higher, but what you gotta understand, it's man, it's racial and it's like implicit biasness when it comes to you know what I'm saying, and self-preference when it comes to a lot of businesses that we don't understand. So I had to learn that. The reason why a lot of black-owned stores might be a little more expensive is possibly because they're not like, say, the Arabs or Chinese, right? Chinese community. They have a lot of produce distribution. So they're going to work with each other to give good prices. Black people, we don't have black-owned distribution like that. Like I heard the Muslims do, but I don't think a lot of people deal with them like that. And that's what we probably slipping right there. But these are the things we gotta practice more. Like when you want, and I see a lot of black people do it, thankfully. But like you might have your local tent man. You know what I'm saying? You go to a brother to get your tent done. You go to a brother that got his own detailing company. You got brothers that have their own lawn service company. You got brothers that do construction and carpenter work. You know what I'm saying? And electrician work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to see that we do still kind of do that, but we need to do more of that And then those brothers and sisters that own the small businesses, like the sisters might do hair. You got sisters that have tax companies where they do your taxes every year. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, it's great that we support them. We got to keep supporting them and circulate money through our community five to 10 times. You know what I'm saying? Let that money keep going back and forth. But the businesses, I would say this for businesses when it comes to group economics, we got to do more things in the community. You know what I'm saying? Now, this may sound funny, but I'm not trying to be funny. No pun intended. I'm not joking. I'm being honest. I had a family member that used to work for a script club as security. And what I respected about the general manager of the script club, because he had a few different script clubs he ran in St. Petersburg. He once ran out there in Clearwater. I respect this brother because he's from Bradenton. But when he came to St. Petersburg running the script club, he would give back to the community. He would have book bag drives for school. He would have clothes drives, Christmas giveaway drives. Like, this brother was giving back to the community. You know what I'm saying? So we need more of that. We need more of the businesses giving back. That's how we also circulate the money. You get what I'm saying? Versus going out and just spending the money and giving it to the people and it brings nothing back to the community. If we're giving you money, you have to give back. Even the drug dealers back in the days that would give back to the communities. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it may sound crazy, a script club doing it or drug dealers doing it, but we have to give back to our community. If you're getting that money from the community, you have to give it back. That's another way of practicing group economics because you're giving back to the community and the money is circulating through the community. So we have to do more of that in order to gain group economics. You know what I'm saying? So the next one, political gain. All right. So let me go ahead and give y'all something on that. Now, where political gain comes at, one of the first steps, of course, you want to educate yourself. And that comes to educating yourself on constituency. Constituency. All right? What's constituency? A body of voters in a specified area who elect a representative to legislative body. The politician who wishes to remain in the good graces of his constituency. All right? An area whose voters elect a representative, a body of customers or supporters, basically. All right? So constituency. Let's say we want better things in our black community, right? We want better policing, you know what I'm saying, standards. We want when businesses come to our community, you know what I'm saying, let them know, like, look, you know what I'm saying, in order to have our support from this community, as well as these other businesses, we need to make sure you give back to the community. Like I said, like, say if a barbershop come in, hey, how about once a month you give away 30 free haircuts to kids that's in school, or hairdos, you know what I'm saying, for kids going to school, like for hair salons, you know what I mean? Or say McDonald's want to come to the community. All right, cool, that's cool. We have a constituency of people, and we expect for you to get back to the community. Like, not just hiring people, but maybe McDonald's can do food drives, you know what I'm saying, to give back to the homeless people that's in the community. Don't make it just about the people that can afford to go get something to eat, but the people that can't afford it. And we have a constituency. Like I said, in St. Pete, it's about 60,000 black people here. So that means if we all came together, look how big that number is as a group, as a constituency, as group economics. You know what I'm saying? So going to the votes, like I said, once again, making sure when businesses come to our community, they're giving back. They're doing something to help, right? Or the police unions, all right? Let's say all 60,000 of us, just saying, just imagine all 60,000 of us are getting into the politics game where we like, all right, this person wants to run for police chief, and they want our votes. Now, what makes it counts when you have constituency or supporters and voters as a group, then they're going to be like, oh, I got to appeal to them. Because that's a lot of votes. If they got 60,000 votes at once. Now, let me show you how that works when you have those numbers. If we say 60,000, the things that you got to know. when it comes to constituency, right? Okay. What constituency can do basically is a political party committee, right? So in the United States, a political party committee is an organization officially affiliated with a political party and registered with the Federal Election Commission, the FEC, which raises and spends money for political campaigning. Okay? So okay, let's break that down. What is a political committee? A congressional committee is a legislative sub-organization in the United States Congress that handles a specific duty, rather than the general duties of Congress. Committee membership enables members to develop specialized knowledge of the matters under their jurisdiction, like what's going on in their community. What does it mean to be affiliated? Party identification is affiliation with a political party. Party identification is typically determined by the political party that an individual most commonly supports by voting or other means, which could be giving money. Other researchers consider party identification to be more flexible and more of a conscious choice. Okay? What are the four political parties? Democrat, Republican, and minor American parties. So these are parties that grew over time. When you go back to Thomas and Jefferson, when they was Democratic Republican, when they was one party, and then they separated and then started growing it. You know what I'm saying? So it became something that was nationwide. But you can also do that here in your own community, right in your own community. You can have political parties or a committee. I mean, a political party committee. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that we need to think about also. So, what are those functions if you do have a committee, a political committee? They have the greatest role in presidential election years when they are responsible for planning the nomination convention and also spend heavily in support of their party's nominee. Some of this spending is directly coordinated with the nominee's campaign. The rest is independent expenditures. All right. So, say in your city, like say here in St. Pete, say we start something called Black Involvement as a political party, right? It's something that can be independent, or we can have it something that helps support Republicans or Democrats or Libertarians and stuff like that. But it's mainly if you're going after, uh, you're trying to push somebody. Say you have an alderman or somebody that's for the community that's been doing a lot of things. It could be your local pastor. It could be an attorney. It can be an activist in the community, and you want to go ahead and get this person on the ballot as an independent. If you have those numbers, like I didn't know how small numbers can be. Like in certain cities and states, you can get somebody on the ballot with, I believe, low as like 2,000-3,000 signatures to get them to be able to run. You know what I'm saying? Like it's low. Like so, say here in St. Pete, we got 60,000 people. That would easily get somebody on the ballot to be able to run. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people do these things as an independent. You can have them as an independent, and that's something that really matters if we start thinking like with political gain. If we're tired of the people that we see not doing nothing for our communities, it's a way that we can get, and that's why local and state really, really matters. When it comes to your state, as it's being its own soul state, you know what I'm saying? Soul, like the way it's ran, and you know what I'm saying, its existence. It's as important as presidency, because you heard the whole time 45 was talking about what governors and mayors should be doing and senators and stuff. He can put in requests to those people, or he can try to file something to take it to the House and Senate to get it passed. But he still has to go through certain things to go over their head. But the only things people might move when the president says something, because they don't want them problems in case that state or whatever needs support from the president. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they may listen and not rock the boat because they may need that help. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was going through what we're going through when the pandemic first popped off, a lot of people needed help and support and couldn't get it. And you heard it. The president was just like kiss his tail, basically. You know what I'm saying? But local and state, we can have political parties, right? Um, and another thing, when it comes to FEC, the Federal Elections Committee. So hold on, real quick. Let me see. So you can do that as a individual, or you know what I'm saying, or a political party that contributes money. So let's say if you just want to be somebody that just want to do it on your own, which is what a lot of people do. We just never really talk about it as black people. With the FEC, they got contribution limits. They got individual contributions. So let's say as an individual you want to do that, right? All right. The commission maintains a database of individuals who have made contributions to political committees. Just like you see all the time, they talk about who endorses who gives money to who. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can look these things up and find out what companies and individuals give a lot of money to political people. All right. For 1977 to 88, contributions of $500 or more were entered. For 1989 to the present, contributions of $200 or more are included. The data on individual contributors includes the following: name, occupation or employer, city, state, date of transaction, amount of contribution, name of committee disclosing the contribution. The following are examples of the various types of contributor searches that may be conducted. You can search an individual contributor by their last and first name, employer, occupation, city, state, zip code, all of that. Individual contributor searches may be performed using one or more filters to narrow the actual search. Example: all contributions to a particular committee on a specific date, or all contributions to a candidates committee from contributors who list the same employer. So, if you just want to be an individual, you can also, you know, do what you feel individually. So let's go back to let's see, the campaign. All right, contribution limits. Under the federal election campaign, contributions are subject to limits. This page examines the rules concerning the limits placed on contributions to the candidate's campaign. It is important to note that a campaign is prohibited from returning contributions that exceed the limits. In the event that a campaign receives excessive contributions, it must follow special procedures for handling such funds. And here you see, this is what it says. Individual per election, you can give $2,800 per election, or $5,000 per year. As a party committee, state, district, and local, $10,000 per year combined. Party committee national, $35,500. Additional national party committee accounts, $106,000 per year. Um, and this is where uh, PACs come into play. All right, as we're talking about us getting our own political party, it's also PACs and PAC money that's involved with contribution and what you're trying to do with it. So, hold on. All right. What is a PAC? Political Action Committee. That's what I'm talking about, us being. A popular term for a political committee organized for the purpose of raising and spending money to elect and defeat candidates. That's something we need to focus on. Having a PAC, Political Action Committee. That's what we need to work on having as a black community for black gain. So, all right, let me read it again. A popular term for a political committee organized for the purpose of raising and spending money to elect and defeat candidates. Think about it. This is a legal way to bribe. Basically, don't get upset with me or nothing like that, but it's a legal way to bribe if you think about it. That's why it matters. If y'all have never seen that movie Head of State, go check out. I'm gonna give you two black movies to go check out. Head of State with Chris Rock. I know it's a comedy, but you learn a lot when it comes to what they do and go through to get money for people who will endorse them. So endorsing them means they giving their money and support in numbers. Money and numbers. That's group economics and political gain. All right. Second movie. And there's other movies out there, but it's just something you can enjoy at the same time. Get some knowledge. Get spoon fed some knowledge. They drop some gems on you. The Distinguished Gentleman, which is Eddie Murphy. Or is it Distinguished Congressman? I think it's Distinguished Gentleman. Yeah, it's the Distinguished Gentleman, Eddie Murphy. It gives you a glimpse of what goes on behind closed doors of the people that give money, and how either way, no matter what a politician supports, they're still going to get money from their constituents. Okay? Once again, I said, a popular term for a political committee organized for the people of raising and spending money to elect a candidate or defeat a candidate. Most PACs represent business, labor, or ideological interests. PACs can give $5,000 to a candidate committee per election, primary, general, or special. They can also give up to $15,000 annually to any national party committee and $5,000 annually to any other PAC. PACs may receive up to $5,000 from any one individual, PAC, or party committee per calendar year. A PAC must register with the FEC, Federal Election Committee, within 10 days of its formation, providing name, address for the PAC, its treasurer, and any connected organizations. Affiliated PACs are treated as one donor for the purpose of contribution limits. That means you can affiliate yourself with other PACs and political committees. PACs have been around since 1944 when the Congress of Industrial Organizations formed the first one to raise money for the re-election of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The PAC's money came from voluntary contributions from union members rather than union treasuries, so it did not violate the Smith-Connolly Act of 43, which forbade unions from contributing to federal candidates. Excuse me. Although commonly called PACs, federal election law refers to these accounts as separate segregated funds because money contributed to a PAC is kept in a bank account separate from the general corporate or union treasury. Many politicians also form leadership PACs as ways of raising money to help fund other candidates' campaigns. Since June 2008, leadership PACs reporting electronically must list the candidate sponsoring the PAC, as per the Honest Leadership and Open Government Act of '07. Leadership PACs are often indicative of politicians' aspirations for leadership positions in Congress or for higher office. A breakdown of spending by leadership PACs is available on this website. So y'all can also go check this out if you want to. OpenSecrets.org. They break it down. All right. So let me see if there's anything else I want to go over. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is the thing we got to realize within our community. The problem we have is separation. You know what I'm saying? Division. And the thing is, when we break down what white privilege is regardless of what decision a white person decides to make in their lifetime in this country, in the United States of America, it doesn't necessarily have the same effects on them as it does us. You get what I'm saying? So me as a black male, if, say, I decide to go to a life of crime or something like that, guess what it does? All it does is add on to the stigma of black people. That's just like me and my partner, you know what I'm saying? We always talk about it. We can go somewhere dressed decent, you know, collar shirt, button up, shirts tucked in, slacks on, you know what I'm saying, casual dress or business shoes, and still have white people look around at us like something wrong with us. White person goes somewhere dressed with a beach shirt, jeans that's ripped and holes in them, or dry wash, and flip-flops and dirty feet, and they just looked at as like a beach bum. Not a criminal, not nothing, just a beach bum or something, if anything, or lower class. But black people, we all lower class and all criminals. You know what I'm saying? Like, white people don't have to worry about those same things. Like, they say, okay, well, if you tell me I got white privilege, that made me not want to even deal with you because I ain't do nothing wrong to you. But you have to, if you are a good person, you're going to open your ears and listen and try to understand what it is before you just form an opinion and start running your mouth. The white privilege is, in this country, and I did a video, y'all can go back and look at it, slavery lasting up to the 60s. One of the last well-known, last unknown, come to find out cases of slavery was all the way up to like around 64, 65. So if you really break it down, we really didn't get out of slavery in 1865. It lasted another 100 years. Whether it was legal or illegal, it lasted another 100 years. Okay? So we're not even close to being 200 years removed from slavery. This is the sad thing about it. And this happened in Louisiana. You don't think the police didn't know about that? Come on. So the privilege that white people have is you're basically 300 years ahead start of us when it comes to us being brought to this country. Now, I know you got the Moors and you got the history of different black people that came to this country and all of that stuff. I get that. But I'm saying as far as the formation of this country, slavery is 100 years older than when this country formed. This country didn't form until the 1700s. That's the Independence Day. That's what 4th of July is the independence of this country from, Britain and Europe and all of that stuff, and the Pope and the King's actual control, which is a lot because there's still a lot of connections that America has to Europe. I don't care how bad our politicians and brass presidents or whoever try to talk about Europe, we still have connections over there. So don't believe that crap. But slavery is 100 years older than when this country actually formed its independence. So white people have that head start from then. And then before that, they had their head start. I don't, honest God, in my heart, I got to do more research, but I don't believe slavery actually started when, 1619, when they first drew up the alleged first black person that they became a slave. I don't believe that. I believe it was going on before that. But I digress. But you have all these hundreds of years that they have a head start, that white people came over here doing what they did, massacred the Indians, brought us over here, enslaved us, and all of this crap. You have a couple hundred years, 200-300 years head start. We're still overcoming that. We're still overcoming PSTD. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still overcoming those traumatic experiences from my ancestry. You know what I'm saying? From my history. So when white people say they don't have white privilege, you might be thinking, oh, things are going bad in my life. But you got to realize things might be going bad in your life because of your choices and just your parents' choices. With black people, things are usually going bad in our life because we're systemically oppressed and systemically affected by our systemic racism. Whether they want to believe it or not, who cares? But I'm doing this, my partner HD, we doing this to God willing to educate our listeners on what we can do. If we're talking about actually doing something, I'm telling you, withholding our votes is not the step. Because the Democrats and Republicans do not need our black votes. They don't need our votes. If they're going to win, they're going to win. They really, honestly, don't need our votes. So you got to understand something. How do you think Republicans have been able to slide all this time without needing our vote? By getting what? 7% of our vote? How do you think that's even possible? That's because they don't need our votes. Them 7% that they get out of black people, I'm sorry, y'all, forgive me, but they coons anyways. And they selfish. Because you got to think, if you do not care how it affects your people, like I said, white people have that privilege. They ain't got to worry about that. But if you don't care how it affects your people because you worry about your bottom line, you're a piece of trash. In my opinion, me and my partner's opinion, you're a piece of trash. So back to what I'm saying. In order for black people to really make our votes count, we have to start working on having political committees. We have to make sure that we have PACs. We have to make sure that we actually have the numbers. We have to have group economics in order for it to matter and mean something. If you got the money and you got the numbers, then we mean something. That whole withholding our vote is not going to work. And this is the thing we got to understand. With having that money, with group economics and having the numbers, now we can start pushing our own people in our own communities, our own cities, our own states. Maybe God willing on a national level, we can start pushing together. We just got to learn how to come together for one common interest. If we know we want the policing better, we want the jobs in our area, the education for our children in our area to be better. You know what I'm saying? We want our communities to look better. These are the things that we have to push for. Opportunity zoning. If we really want to be able to take advantage of that, we got to learn how to come together. Because you got to have employees. You got to have insurance, workman's comp, all that type of stuff. You have to have these things in order to even, in a business license, in order to even take advantage of opportunity zoning. You need the money. You need the numbers. You can't do it by yourself. That's what people don't. That's why we don't get to take advantage of the opportunity zone. While they talking about, oh, it's so great for it, it's not, because it don't help us. It helps them corporations who have millions and billions of dollars. It don't help me if I'm a sole proprietor over my business. It don't help me. I don't have the funds. I don't have the employees. You need the money and you need the employees. So I want y'all to go ahead and do your research, man. Look up and go more into it. PACs. Find out about what a PAC is more. Find out more about political party committees. You know what I'm saying? Look up constituency. Look up group economics. These are the things that we need to look up. This is what's going to help us, not withholding our votes. Excuse me. I like Boyce Watkins, but it's annoying me. Like I said, Tone Talk said something I didn't like, and God forgive me, I had to take it back, because the things he's talking about, we do need to think about. When he said withholding our votes, do you even at least got $50,000 in your account? That withholding your vote, how is it going to affect you? It's not going to work. So I agree with Tone Talks versus Boyce Watkins on that, because it's not making sense. He got to take his feelings out of it. He's saying that Ice Cube is doing nothing wrong because he's taking his feelings out of it and talking to different candidates. But you're talking about withholding our votes. All these years that I've been watching him, before, because I seen him on the Breakfast Club, right? I think it was right at the time when 45 started running for president. You could have been talking about looking at other parties. I named all four. You got Democrats, Republicans, Libertarian, and Green Party. It's four different political parties that push for presidents. And I know it's the only one we keep talking about Democrats and Republicans. They have is two other independents. I want y'all to look that up. It's four. If you voting, look on your ballot and you will see Green Party and Libertarian Party are the other two parties. My boy HD put me on to that. I just knew about independent, but I didn't know it was like you can be another independent party and put yourself on as long as you got the numbers. So my boy HD put me on to that. So these are things that we can do. Withholding our vote is not going to work if we're not working on a strategy. But we need to stop trying to work on a strategy to get a handout. We need group economics and a PAC or political committee. Let's start in our own communities. These are the things me and my partner HD talking about. And as we educate ourselves, we educating y'all. Okay? So this your boy JT at Opposite from the North. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and definitely make sure you get them likes up. We're going to come back with y'all to y'all with some more info and stuff on this stuff. I might do God one, a political. It's politics, baby. You know what I'm saying? Get at me.